What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining me. This is episode 2 of the Metaphysics of Movement. Hopefully you got a chance to check out episode 1 from a week or two ago. Thanks for putting up with the low quality production there, but you got to start somewhere, right? So this is episode 2, which I'm calling the Health Trinity. So what exactly is the Health Trinity? Well, essentially what it is it's a template for anyone who's interested to adapt and kind of make their own health strategy. So what's the importance of having a health strategy? Well, it doesn't take much common sense to understand that your health is synonymous with your quality of life. So why wouldn't you want to be of good health? You know, when you're healthy, you're upbeat, jovial, productive, people enjoy your company. I don't know too many people that wouldn't want to be of good health. So it's important that we have a health strategy. So when it comes to health strategies, it's kind of important to put into context within this health trinity that certain cultures are going to emphasize different areas of a strategy. So what this health trinity is a balance between your mind, your body, and your soul. So your body is going to be what we're most familiar with. It's going to be the material world, that we can see. What's tangible, what you can reach out and grab, your physical body. Seeing is believing. You know, we don't say hearing is believing or thinking is believing. So our culture has somewhat moved away from, a culture of faith that would kind of be associated with religion, and has come into this scientific age where if it can't be proven by science, then it doesn't have much merit to it. Whereas older Eastern cultures still have a lot of faith in the immaterial world, which we can't see. So when we understand the balance of this mind-body-soul strategy, we have to take into account what culture we're living in and how it can influence your balance. So like I said, the body is pretty obvious. We live in a culture that tips the scale, the balance, toward body very heavily. In our culture, it might be normal to see someone, and this is being optimistic, that might put 50% of their stock in the body realm and 25 in the soul and the mind. So when we look at the realm of the body, not only does our culture somewhat influence to tip the scale toward body, but we live in the body realm and it's in a negative way. It'd be one thing if our culture was something where, we got rewarded, where if we stayed in good shape somehow, if at work they gave us bonuses for going out and running a marathon, or being able to touch your toes, and there might be a little bit of movement toward stuff like that, but for the most part it's not. Our culture is one where we kind of live and die with the economy, and if we're not productive, it's a horrible thing. We pride ourselves on how busy we are, how little sleep we can get by with, how much we work, and that isn't really healthy. If we tip the scale in the realm of the body, so much, and we were glorifying, wow, I got so much sleep last night and I'm eating so great, that'd be awesome, that'd be good, but that's not really the case. Obviously obesity is a big deal, especially in our country. So that's the realm of the body. The realm of the mind. So just like the body, it's important to be of healthy mind. Your mind is going to be associated with what's responsible for processing not only the material world around us, but the immaterial world around us, making sense of things, recognizing patterns, dealing with emotions. If you're of a healthy mind, you might be able to pick up on things that could be very beneficial to recognize a pattern, so you don't repeat a negative pattern. Or, in an emotional example, Billy told Jesse that he doesn't think that you're really that cool. Is that going to ruin your day, or are you going to be able to just brush that off like it's nothing? So being of a healthy mind is important too. The realm of the soul, it's a lot of these words, they're kind of tricky to label them, so you can use your own words and decide how you want to apply it to mind, body, soul. But for the soul, for me, the soul is kind of your relationship with the unknown. Your soul transcends the material world. So when we look at your soul, if we look at it in that sense, and it is your relationship with that which is unknown, however you label that relationship is going to play a huge role in the rest of your life. For example, if you choose to label the unknown and you follow an organized religion, that can be an excellent template, to live by the 10 Commandments. Whereas if you're a nihilist and you believe that there's no rhyme or reason to anything that's going on in this world, which of those two people are going to help an old lady who's fallen on the side of the road? So however you decide to label that relationship with the unknown is kind of going to form the foundation for your morals, your ethics, your moral compass. So choose wisely. Okay, so how do we get stronger in each of these mind, body, soul realms? Obviously, each person is an individual, and you're going to have to cultivate out each balance point, and it's going to be dynamic. It's going to change all the time. So one way that we're very familiar with becoming greater in the physical realm, the body realm, the body can be associated with your relationship to your local environment, your exercise, your diet. So if you're watching this video, you're probably somewhat familiar with exercise, so I'm going to use an exercise example. How do we get stronger? Strength isn't the only, the end-all be-all trait for the body. There's mobility, endurance, speed. So not just strength, but for the sake of this example, how do we get stronger? Say we want a stronger bicep. We're going to take a weight, put it in our hand. We're going to rotate upon our elbow and fix our shoulder joint still, and we're going to lift that weight. By doing so, we're going to put a heavy stress, a load on that biceps muscle. And if it's heavy enough, if the load is heavy enough, it'll tear the tissue there, and it'll set off a reaction in the body with inflammation that's going to say, hey, we just encountered a pretty serious stressor. It's time to rebuild stronger. And as long as you enable your body to recover, you're going to recover stronger than you were before you did that exercise. Not only will you become stronger, but the more you do that movement pattern, you're going to recruit the right motor neurons to fire for that specific movement pattern. So you're going to not only get stronger, but you're going to get better at that movement pattern. So exercise is one way to build strength in the physical realm. So let's take that example and apply that concept to the other realms. So how can we exercise our mind? How can we exercise our soul? So for our mind, the mind, it's just like a muscle. You're going to have to exercise it. It's okay. You're going to have to exercise your mind. So what does it take? We have to stimulate our minds. We're so lucky right now. We live in a time where we have infinite tools at our disposal via the internet. For example, me personally, I don't learn that well sitting in the traditional classroom, hence videos like this. So I've been able to really come into my own learning style via audiobooks, podcasts, lectures, interactive websites, chatting with other people online about cool new information. So I've been able to come up with my own unique environment and curriculum and learning style to consistently stimulate my mind. So, just like the body, it's going to hurt. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. You get that soreness and you get exhausted. Same thing's going to apply with your mind. So, how can we apply that to the soul? Well, the soul is probably the most tricky one to talk about. But for me, what really, really gets my soul going is when I'm struck with awe, when I learn something new or I go see something beautiful in nature, or finding the beauty in a lot of otherwise difficult situations. So there's a phrase that I like that says, "Through death grows conception." So what it could mean in the physical realm is that a tree's up in the woods and it dies and falls down and it starts to decompose, and all of the minerals and elements that the tree is made out of get reassimilated back into the biological network where it's laying on the ground, and all of a sudden new life comes through it. So through death, new life is conceived and it's used as fuel. So you can take this and you can understand that when perhaps you lose a loved one, or you break up or divorce with a spouse, or you lose a job, it's going to hurt. Death is involved. You get that soulful or mental inflammation. But if you allow yourself the proper period to recover, you can use that death or that loss or that breakup as fuel to rebuild. And just like when a muscle tissue rebuilds, not only can it be stronger, but it can be better at going through that movement pattern. So basically what it is the more adversity we face and overcome, the more we develop our character. It can also be called stress-inoculated resiliency. So you have to find, if you're stuck too much in the body realm and all you do is exercise your body, you're going to have to understand it's time to rebalance. There are certain words that we have that carry negative connotations that are associated with people who are unbalanced on that mind-body-soul scale. A meathead is someone who's stuck in the physical body realm and unbalanced. A dork is someone who is, a bookworm, whatever. A bookworm isn't going to be someone who's going to go out and throw the football or go, be comfortable going out on a date, perhaps. Or a hippie is not going to be someone who's going to shave, cut their hair, put on a suit and tie, and all of a sudden be a teller at a bank or a CEO at a company. So, while they're not always negative things, and specializing does lead to incredible things, figure out where your balance point is so that you can yield the highest results. You're not going to find a meathead sitting there and talking philosophy and reading poetry, and I mean, you might, but generally speaking, you're not going to. So it's important. Figure out what the mind exercises for you, what the soul exercises for you, what the body exercises for you. If you're stuck at work 24/7, it's going to deplete you and drain you. And while it might not seem like, if I took a soulful mission, a soul searching mission to this country that I've always wanted to go to, I'll never be able to get my job back, this and that. It might be true, it might not be true, but if you replenish that energy and feed your soul and listen to your intuition instead of steamrolling your intuition, good stuff's gonna come. And I say that from firsthand experience. So, essentially, to wrap things up, just like in the physical realm, which our culture seems to emphasize a lot of, take concepts that you understand from that physical realm and apply them to the less understood realms of your mind and your soul. And that can be a recipe for a lot of good things to happen. So, that's it. Thank you so much for your time.